The evolution on Leeside continues. Not one member of the starting 15 played in Cork's last All-Ireland winning team, which was back in 2005, although Brian Murphy and Tom Kenny are tonight among the subs. There's a league debut for wing-back Stephen White of Ballygarvan, and first league starts as well for midfielder Daniel Carney and corner forward Stephen Moylan, although the latter two have played in the Championship. The return of Eamon O'Shea now as manager has coincided with the return to right corner back. The Borris player had been beset by injuries. There's a trio of Mars at the half back line, Donna, Porrick and Brendan. Shane McGrath's the new Tip captain, and atop of the left tonight it's a first Alliance League start for John O'Dwyer from Killinall. Out as far as McLaughlin. Comes here as far as Paddy O'Sullivan, new position for him. Switched across smartly over here as far as Stephen Moylan, and that is a wonderful point. First to come from play in this match for either team. It's come in the 12th minute, and there were 4 or 5 players involved in that. A fabulous diagonal ball across to Stephen Moylan, his third possession in this match and his first score. Cork lead 5-1. Out here as far as Paddy O'Sullivan, he's getting a lot of possession. Moving it on quickly here as far as Christopher Joyce, the piercing player. And he has a go. There's no John Gardner playing, there's no Sean O'Halpine playing, but there is a piercing man there, and it's Christopher Joyce who gets his first point in this league. Well, Sean or John Gardner would have been very pleased with that one and happy for their club colleague. One once again in midfield. This is a very good start by Cork, and it's William Egan slipping it, but not terribly far. Carney goes after it as if his life depended upon it. Out comes the full-back, but he's lost it here, and Pat Horgan's after it. O'Brien's after him, and Horgan beats everybody and puts it over. 5 points now for Patrick Horgan, and that's the first one to come from play. And what about this for a start? Only 13 minutes are gone, and Tipperary's backs are all over the place, being led a merry dance and trailing by 7 points to 1. Paddy Marr trying to kick it out, trying to get it away from Conor Lehan. In comes Johnny Ryan to try and help out, the number 9 there with the light blue helmet. This is Paddy O'Sullivan almost losing his way here, but finally getting it across towards Luke O'Farrell, and Luke O'Farrell putting it over the bar. Luke O'Farrell, first point of the match, and the crowd thought there might have been a goal there. It's 8-1 instead. Collecting it again is Pat Horgan. 2 backs are after him, but Horgan's showing pace. Oh, that was some point. Lorcan McLaughlin was in towards the end of that one, and it's Lorcan McLaughlin, the midfield player, who gets it. Horgan set off again, and McLaughlin was in the right position to flick it over his head and beat Paul Curran to it. What a lovely point. Best of the match so far. Lar Corbett, I'm sure, would be quite happy to come on and lend his considerable assistance. Taking off once again is Paddy Marr. Held on to here by Seamus Calnan. Turns well, strikes it neatly. It's going to drop short again, and Nash comes out, secure as ever, then looks around to see who's available and pinpoints his pass to Christopher Joyce, who took up a good position from centre half back. On as far as Daniel Carney, and Carney with wonderful accuracy and really good team point, that wonderful efficiency, starting with Nash, the little pass out to Christopher Joyce, and then completed by Daniel Carney, his first point of the match, and they lead by 10 points to 1. Out it comes once again. William Egan looks ahead, sees Daniel Carney, and Carney hits it off his left-hand side. He's got one, he's got a second. Well, this is terrific hurling by Cork in this opening Alliance League match, a game where many people came here fearing that they might struggle against a much more settled-looking Tipperary team. And on comes Lar Corbett with some 3 minutes to go to half-time, and he's replacing Seamus Calnan. Now, can he make a difference? Picking it up here is Porrick Marr. Chasing after him is Patrick Horgan. Into the centre here, picked up again by William Egan. And Egan's intervention is important, and he drives it long and he puts it over the bar. And he's got his first point in this match. So many impressive performances so far by Cork, but a team performance so far that will certainly stir the imagination of their fans as we head towards half-time, with Cork leading by 13 points to 1. Paddy Stapleton on his return to the Tipperary team, not letting the side down. On it goes here to Paddy Marr. Here's John O'Dwyer, who had some chances in the first half, took one of them, trying to get another here on target, and that one's gone over the bar. Good play by John O'Dwyer, his second point, and Tipperary's second point to come from play, and that has taken 44 minutes. Donna Marr here, and the rest of the half-back line struggling to get the ball away, but helped out by Brendan Marr, then hooked by Paddy O'Sullivan, who's been the thick of everything. Out to Lorcan McLaughlin, slip back in here once again, and once more it's Lihan taking off, striking it off his left and putting it over the bar. Conor Lihan now becomes the sixth and final member of the Cork attack to score. Every one of the forwards has managed to score from play, and that is some statement of intent. Once the block came in here by Paddy O'Sullivan on Brendan Marr, away went the number 12 Conor Lihan, and that's a terrific score. 19-3, his side is leading on a night when Tipperary have run into a right storm on the banks of the River Lee. Lar Corbett trying to inject a little bit of life into this Tipperary attack, and that'll do. First point for Lar in this year's league. Came on midway through the first half, ready to make his presence felt, show that little injection of pace, struck it beautifully, and it's 19 points to 4. Well, the Tipperary fans who've travelled here, not exactly over the moon by the way things are going. A mere 4 points for their side after 49 minutes of play, but they're coming again now, and it's Jason Ford now, second half substitute, and shooting that one over. Suddenly they're getting a couple of scores, they're getting a few opportunities, and Ford from Silvermines gets his first league point here, striking it well and hitting it from 35 metres out. Lar Corbett taking it down to himself, but then not helping it on very much. McGrath acquired in towards Owen Kelly, impishly trying to get it up onto his stick, doggedly sticking to his task was Stephen White. The number 5 comes out as far as John O'Dwyer. Back out here once again to Adrian Ryan, and Adrian Ryan hits this one beautifully over the bar, and all of a sudden Tipperary are starting to play a little bit of hurling, and now it's 20 points to 8. Well, Eamon O'Shea must be a bit more pleased with what he's now seeing in the second half. His side has begun to hit some good scores. 2 Cork players go for it, and out it comes to Lorcan McLaughlin. A lovely loose style of his on towards Conor Lihan. Good use again of the hand pass out to Horgan. Tries his shot inside the left-hand upright and over the bar. 11 points now for Horgan. And this time worked out of defence here with the greatest of difficulty, and then surrendered to Michael Welch, who puts that over, and the substitute has come on and he's scored here. So a young player from Kildare will be pleased to have got among the scorers. 25 points now to 11. Big jump in the air by Stephen MacDonald, comes down here to Owen Kelly. Is there a late goal in this match? Owen Kelly puts it into the corner of the net. And Owen Kelly, who's come on as a second half substitute, scores in the 69th minute and puts something of a better complexion on the final scoreline. Look at the angle that he was confronted with here, almost on the end line, and somehow he beat the 3 defenders. MacDonald tried to hook him, unable to do so, and Nash is beaten. As the referee blows the final whistle, and Cork have prevailed at Portyreen against Tipperary in the opening Alliance League match. They have won by 12 points after a superb performance against Eamon O'Shea's team, who have a lot to do. Have full-time score here. It's Cork 26 points, Tipperary 1 goal and 11.
Yeah, well, it was a game we certainly targeted. As I said already, we only have 2 league games at home this year, so it's very important to try and get a win in your home games. I think every county thinks the same way, so we certainly went for it tonight. I thought the lads played very, very well.
The attitude was first class.
Yeah, we were delighted with that, Ger. They've trained very well. Morale in the camp is very good, and I'm very pleased with their attitude is first class.
Eamon, are there any positives you can take from that?
Very future. You know, we were beaten comprehensively, you know, from the start to the finish. You know, I think we drew the second half, but really, you know, the game was over at half time. But we have a lot of work to do. We're really, you know, only beginning, so hopefully, not hopefully, we will improve during the league.
Oh yes, an